Dude, I love the food, but then I'm like, if I eat this, I'm going to throw up in the fucking pit.
Right. So right now,
like some crushed up Addies.
Yeah.
No Subtracties. Just Addies.
All Addies, no Subtracties. That's the episode.
The Shug, Shane Hollister. Logan, Ineichen. Lyndon, Ehlers. Wrastlin with music and life for life.
Wrestling with Music and Life, episode 31. I'm here with the Wrestling with My Music and Life crew, and we're ready to fucking talk about some shit. Obviously, there's been a lot going on that we have not talked about. It's almost been, before Christmas? So a month. Let us know that you've had some shows, boys. Who wants
Shane
to start?
can go first because I'm not going to remember anything.
Oh my gosh, I feel like I had some shows. Well, recently I had the SCW, our very last event at the Walcott Coliseum after almost 10 years of performing there. We just had our last event there, and I had the very last Walcott street fight, and I got some heat in the back because I got color without permission.
Oh, man.
They don't let you do that there?
No, you're not supposed to do it.
Fuck you, Walcott. You're fucking way out in the middle of nowhere.
Well, no, it's not that. It's SCW in general. And instead of getting... See, I got heat. Instead of like blowing up on like he would have in front of if it would have been a student who did it, he would have... Merrick Brave, Nick would have made them look like a fucking idiot in front of the whole locker room. Instead, he just sat next to me. He goes, "What the fuck, man? You're making me look like a fucking asshole out there." And I'm like, "Oh shit, here we go." And he was like, "Dude, there's a time and a place, and there's like 150 kids out there who are terrified." And I'm like, maybe.
Yeah, but you were one of those kids when you were watching wrestling, my friend. So
I remember watching.
Did it not get you hooked? That would be my
memory.
that would be my memory bank is watching somebody get color.
Right. Well, you got to remember, there's a lot of sissified Tweety birds nowadays.
Yeah,
and they're raising their kids to be sissified Tweety birds.
Right.
So little blood scared them.
Yeah.
And I didn't even get that great a color, but I got some, but it was fun. I ain't done anything like that. I ain't got hit in the head with a cookie sheet in a long time or a chair.
Who'd you wrestle?
I wrestled Dustin Mosley, the Devil Dog.
Mostly.
Yeah. But anyways, he put me through a door, powerbombed me through a door. We were going to do it off the stage, but there were way too many people there. I was going to have him run an awesome bomb me off the stage through a door, but there were too many people there.
Nice.
He was scared about doing that anyways. Are you sure, man? I was like, I got to do something fucking crazy.
That's the videos you sent us, right?
Yeah.
The 2 big ass bumps.
Yep.
Damn, that looked like a soreness I wouldn't want.
I rewatched the neck breaker, and I was like, damn, dude, I landed really high. It's because the tail end of my lower back hit that chair, and that's what fucking made me land
and the
high.
chair said,
and it wasn't a full chair. It wasn't a full chair, so it definitely was
full chair
fuck you.
assault. That's great, man. And everything went smoothly then.
Yep, and then now it'll be regular, we're back to Wildwood next Saturday.
Fuck yeah.
That venue's fucking
Shout out to Wildwood Barbecue.
Shout out to them. And it's funny because randomly a coworker just was like, "Did you know? I don't know this band. I'm sure you do, Shuggy, but did you know Lorna Shore is coming to Wildwood?"
Yeah, everybody's freaking out about them.
Fuck?
Yeah. They're blowing up right now because the vocalist is
No, but
I guess. But here's the thing: it's
right.
I think his vocals are cool, but it's not
I'm saying that's awesome that a band that somebody knows. I know he likes metal, but I'm just he's excited to go to Wildwood.
Oh, dude, there's a lot of people are nowadays.
It's like when we seen Gojira, nobody knew who they were. You know?
Oh man, that was the best.
That was awesome. There was 50 people there, dude. Right. It was fucking rad. They didn't hold back.
See their band.
No, remember they played.
I don't know who that is.
They played a super long version of Where Dragons Dwell. It lasted 10 minutes.
Yeah.
I remember Logan was like, "It's still going." He turns around and he's like, "They're still playing."
Yeah. That's amazing.
They did not hold back. Man.
No.
But fucking Wildwood was killing it all last summer, and I think that's going to be more. They're going to do more big tours and stuff during the summer because right now, Summoning the Lich. Sorry, I'm drinking. Summoning the Lich is going back on tour with I can't remember who like the headliner is, but like this other band called Flub. Oh. You'd really dig them. They're like an artisan era band. Like they're on the same label as Archaic and like Infuri and all those bands. Like I met the singer on that last Archaic tour.
Okay.
Like he was their photographer. This dude tours like 8 months out of the year with like different bands.
Oh, wow.
As like
Nice.
a photographer or a vocalist or whatever. But I was looking for a Wildwood date on that tour, and I was like, oh yeah, Wildwood, they're probably not doing a ton of shows during the winter months. I don't know why, because they did a handful very late in the year last year, but
Right.
I think it's because
in September.
Well, the only thing I can think of is it's because it's right off the interstate, and that's when it's always shitty. Like
Yeah.
it's so easy to get in accidents and then just not have a good
So
turnout.
I'm waiting for more really good Wildwood shows because we saw Nile last year and Vitriol and so many good fucking bands. You didn't.
Yeah.
I'm jealous of you guys. I
only went to
had a
one
moment where
show,
I was gonna go.
actually, there.
I was gonna go, but again,
I went to that Upon a Burning Body show, and that was the first
that
time.
one Vulvadinia was on?
Yeah, dude. And they were. I've never heard of him, and those guys were fucking
great.
rad,
That's good
dude.
shit.
That's the,
Lyndon showed me them a long while
That's
back.
on me and Logan because me and Logan have been listening to Vulvadinia for a while.
Yeah, but like, dude, those guys are fucking rad live, too.
South Africa.
Yeah.
They're fucking white mongoose.
weirdest
from South Africa.
accent of ever. It's
When he was talking on stage, I was like, where the fuck is this guy from?
South
Like,
Africa.
it's so weird.
They're one of the only bands I know of from South Africa. Doesn't mean they are the only band. Obviously,
Right.
Man, Wildwood, super rad place, good food, which kind of sucks.
That's what you sold me on, and I was about to go just to get some food.
I'll push their food forever, but
it's good, man.
Man, I hate it also because I don't like eating at shows.
Oh,
I get tired
well, you hate it because
I
he's
don't
like,
have the
dude,
energy.
I love the food, but then I'm like, if I eat this, I'm gonna throw up in the fucking pit.
Right. So right now,
Pop some crushed up Addies. No Subtracties. Just Addies.
all Addies, no Subtracties. That's the episode.
Already, that fast.
I ain't floating on
Episode
that Lorna
31.
fucking shore. I ain't floating on that Lorna shore. It's too early, brother.
All right, that's
Anyway.
it. For the record, Lorna Shore is boring as fuck. That shit's been happening forever. Sorry,
Yeah,
guys.
like
never heard of
his
him, so-
vocals, I guess everybody's what's freaking out about.
Well, yeah. So here's the thing,
Why?
right? The Lorna Shore, for
Just
people who
'cause he
don't know,
does,
Lorna Shore had.
Is this boy girl shit?
He does the same thing. No.
Okay.
Definitely not.
They had been around for a while, and they had a vocalist who I think at some point he raped somebody or something.
God.
And got in trouble, and they kicked him out, and then they replaced him with this guy now. And it was one of those things like when Howard Jones joined Killswitch, and everybody's like, it's not going to be Jesse, and then he turns out to be
I never heard
1,000
that.
times.
Yeah, better.
Still
better
better.
We already
vocalist.
knew about
Still
Howard
better.
Jones,
Yeah.
me and
Still
Shug,
better.
but, you know.
And then,
better,
and then,
still better.
and then I will
know,
also
man.
point out, no,
Yeah.
it is.
You're done.
But
Yeah.
there was this article that came out that said, I remember the headline was this band treats itself like a business. And I
Yeah.
read that headline and I go, no shit, you fucking idiots. That's how you should.
That's
run a
every band should treat their
it's
band
I'm
like
sorry,
that.
most of deathcore is a bunch of teenagers or like 25-year-olds that can't not rape people.
Right.
But then that caused them to blow up, and then they released a single.
Like Hellfire.
Because that was all about how they moved on from losing a vocalist who was pretty popular.
Can you
And then-
describe what the sound is?
So
Because you're
it's-
going on a thing, and
okay,
I'm like,
yes.
what is?
So okay, listen, I'm getting there. I'm
Okay.
getting there. It's changed. It was more so like typical deathcore.
Yeah.
Now they've gone a sort of like blackened deathcore thing. So they're stealing black metal riffs.
Yeah, he
Black
definitely.
and death.
Even his vocals are like
Yeah.
sometimes very.
Yeah, and like now we're in a day where people like dog on black metal a lot, which it's deserved to an extent. But now it's like, oh, they're actually like they're kind of more black metal now, and I'm like, fuck off.
Right.
It's not anything you've never heard.
Yeah, you've heard it all.
The production, the mix is way drum heavy.
Okay.
Like it sounds like the drummer mixed the album. You know.
I don't mind that. Depends
you
on
should.
The, yeah.
It's
Yeah,
stupid.
but actually,
Sometimes I love
the
that.
first single they released that everybody was stoked about, like actually was a weak ass fucking recording though.
Here's my issue, and I understand why people like it, and I'm fine because those dudes. I played with Thy Art Is Murder, and those guys are fucking legit. They are professional as fuck.
Yeah.
Absolutely killer. It's not super hard stuff to play, but it is really hard to be really solid and tour a lot.
Didn't Sam book them just recently for Ribco? Yeah.
That was the third Pit Lord show ever we opened for them.
Oh shit!
Nice.
Okay, yeah. That's awesome.
So it's not anything new, but if you are like 16 going on 24 and you live under a rock, sounds amazing.
Yeah,
really good. And you know, I can't shit on it too much, but me personally, it's not super interesting. Again, that stuff has been pretty accessible for a long time, and you know, people going, "Oh, they're making black metal cooler again," or something like some bullshit like that. Like, stop! It's deathcore.
I don't think that was ever the point of black metal.
No,
to be cool.
No, exactly.
No, it's like the opposite of that. I would say.
Record on
at least
tape recorder.
Yeah, at least from like
2022.
At least from like 89 to fucking 94, and then it did turn into a thing.
The thing is, like everybody,
I think Dimmy Borger brought that in for me. I didn't really know much about black metal, and all of a sudden CKY comes out and Dimmy Borger's on it, and I'm like, what is
Cradle
this?
Filth from Craig and CK's place.
That was
all
later
from the same
still
era.
for me, but yeah, they were same area. There was and Bam Margera was putting them over like motherfucker on the mainstreams. And
if anything, I would say Phil Anselmo and then like bad press in general from like the early 90s black metal shit is what made black metal popular. But I definitely give a lot of credit to Phil Anselmo.
Oh, on a lot
around
of
in Dark Throne shows.
Yeah, he was.
Dude,
fuck yeah, he was.
Morbid Angel in their last tour of Pantera.
Yeah.
Morbid fucking Angel. Like, that is the most props. And obviously, like, he would do drunken fucking rants, and he would just be like, Bolt Thrower. And he'd just say fucking band names.
Not to mention,
he'd just be drunk and he'd be like,
have you heard
for no reason?
Have you heard his black metal band that he has called Scour?
Yes.
I didn't even know he had.
Yeah, bro, I had to show that to me.
Fantastic.
It was boring, but yeah.
No.
I scoured over it.
That's not even the correct context. I scoured over it. Okay.
It got me sour when I was scouring.
I'll wrap up my thing on Lorna Shore, and it's fine.
Okay,
but it's nothing super special. If you're over the age,
well, I didn't see any
30,
other bands on that, so maybe Pit Lord makes an appearance and puts
I'll
over
play with
Lorna.
anybody. I don't give a shit.
Lorna,
Right? I don't give a shit.
You know?
Go ahead.
The thing about like, well, it's like Lyndon said, like anybody who's hearing this new, they think that he's because it was like Alex the Terrible with his deep vocals, and then now this guy can do that shit, but then he does the black metal stuff, so everybody thinks he's a way more well-rounded vocalist.
Well, you remember,
but Infinite Annihilator's vocalist still fucking takes the cake.
You know who was doing that before all those guys? Fucking Trevor. Black Dahlia Murder.
Oh yeah.
So that's what I was going to
switching back and forth perfectly.
Yeah,
like
rest in peace. But I was going to say that guy just because for me, when a band like Surreption that I love puts him over and literally put him on the album that they were doing, one of my favorite of all time, Engineering the Void.
Was he on that? I didn't know he was on that.
Are you?
No, I'm not.
What song?
Oh my God, this guy's acting like he's on
act like he knows, but he can't remember what song
What song is it?
It's the last one, Engineering the Void.
Okay.
You know, the little breakdown, and then all of a sudden there's like black metal for no reason. That's Trevor from fucking Black Dahlia Murder.
I just listened to an EP I missed at the end of last year that was probably one of the last things he ever recorded on was this band called Beast. It's Baest from Denmark, and he sang on one of their songs, and it's fucking so
he's a huge metal nerd, and he was like fucking super smart about it.
Trevor is probably, I would say, solely responsible for the resurgence of popularity in death metal from the last few years, because death metal's huge right now. I mean, like I would say really at the level that deathcore has gotten to from the last 10 years, they're both the same, because you have death metal bands and deathcore bands touring together, and some people are really mad, some people love it. I think it's awesome. But Trevor he's the one that initially was putting over Maggot Stomp all the time, which is the label that is essentially responsible for blowing up death metal, because like Frozen Soul and Staying with Sugarbog and a lot of these bands from like Texas and Ohio's killing it in death metal right now. Maggot Stomp is the reason. But Trevor is the one who would fucking literally post about Maggot Stomp, and then he would put over bands that he saw. Frozen Soul was one of them, I think. And he would literally just post on Instagram and be like, Scott from Maggot Stomp would be a dumb fuck if he doesn't sign you guys. And what do you think would happen? He'd immediately go and fucking sign these guys.
That's the kind of pull he had.
And now all those bands that started on Maggot Stomp are on like Century Media, and Century Media's picking up like death metal bands again. And and it's awesome, but it's because of Trevor. Right. I mean, that guy, you know, I shit on Black Dahlia Murder a lot over the years, and you know, I still really love Miasma and, you know, stuff from them here and there, but that guy, I mean, I never had a bad thing to say about him. And considering how much of a difference he made, just being like, hey, all you millions of people that love Black Dahlia Murder because they were such a professional band, everybody loved them because they're just like good guys, and they don't get in fucking trouble, and they're, you know, and to have somebody that big just constantly be like, this band is good, listen to this album from like 1990,
putting over brothers and sisters
all the time.
That's what we try to do here.
I mean, reignited people's interest in death metal, like as a, you know, on a larger sense. And goddamn, you know,
I think the reignition is going to continue to happen.
Big loss for
you know, because death metal's just underground, bros. So you'll have somebody poke out into the mainstream and start putting over death metal, and it'll just resurgence. But has it ever gone mainstream? No. I mean, literally no. Well, sorry,
but it's bigger. I would say Lyndon's right, though. It's bigger than it's ever been right now.
Right. I would say if anything, it's comparable to like the early 90s. Yeah. But just with the internet now, and, you know, technology, and how you know, all these things that make things easier. Yeah, it's probably big now. And you have these like blue collar dudes from like bumfuck Ohio, Cleveland, and Cincinnati, you know, 200 stab wounds. All these
Cincinnati,
guys,
man,
body box.
John Moxley.
I have this sick body box shirt coming that's got like Dale Earnhardt on it. I'm just so excited. Like all these bands that were just dudes that just worked and played in warehouses and shit, and now they're fucking like touring 8 months out of the year and just probably still poor. But I mean,
hey, guess what, dude? It's their fucking outlet, man. Because if you go to a fucking blue collar job, sometimes you want to fucking kill people and you can't. So.
Right.
Well, depending on what job you have.
I guess I could bury you in the concrete.
That's what I was going to say. If you build roads, you can definitely bury people. Like, you got to get everybody in on it.
I get it.
I mean, I don't know where I was going with any of that, but like, man, it is just so great. I've listened to, you know, last year, you know, in 2022, there were 800 death metal albums released.
Wow.
Holy
like
fuck.
You know, unsupported and supported, just so many. And
which in the scheme of things, that's so small compared to like the other genres, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
But still for death metal, like that sounds like a huge fucking number.
Like 20 of those probably sold really great, you know, and then the rest of them.
If I were those labels, I'd probably join up with the Saudis. Go to Saudi Arabia,
well, hey,
you know.
Apparently that's the fucking thing to do, Vince McMahon.
Vince style.
You know about this, correct?
Golf is doing that too.
Vince McMahon straight up came back just to sell WWE to Saudi Arabia.
Well, and I heard that the first person he was trying to sell was to a guy named Eric.
Wrong. There's no way.
Eric!
He's giving the company to Eric.
Eric is a bad man.
At first, this flew right over my head until Lyndon.
I didn't get it at first either, and then I understood it like 2 seconds before you did.
It's because me and Lyndon recorded together earlier. Now we're on the same page.
All right.
But, man.
No, that's fucked up. I don't necessarily want WWE to be sold to another thing, and I realize that is a mass purchase. Somebody has to have a lot of money. I did see rumors now today, just before this, that The Rock wants to try to buy WWE.
It's not like he doesn't have the money, honestly.
It probably is.
He's not going to be playing Black Adam.
It's $1 billion, bro, or more. That
So wait,
Vince wants to-
he's selling it to what, like some company in Saudi Arabia? Is that what it is? Or-
Supposedly, well, what I was hearing, it was like a company or a person, or like they were saying the Saudi Arabian like government themselves wanted to buy the company, which is fucking insane. To
and
think
they
about.
bought a lot of things as far as entertainment, and that kind of
we had that conversation. the other night.
and that's whatever. You know, I don't know business wise why he would want to do it other than whatever benefits himself. It's Vince freaking man.
He's done. He's ready to get the fuck out of it, wash his hands of it.
Yeah.
But he could have done that anyways. I mean, like the company, I would say, was on an upswing.
Let me ask you a question. Saudi Arabia buys it, a bunch of people quit, and in WWE, like a lot of people keep thinking they're going to do, they ain't going to do that.
Well, they'll let their contracts run.
And then they call up the Shug. What are you going to do?
How? See, here's the thing: is also though losing another company can be kind of scary for anybody in the business, because what happens now is if those guys from WWE are free agents and Tony picks them up, AEW becomes oversaturated, and those people who weren't stars are never going to become stars because they're never going to have the chance to become a star.
True.
Because they're going to take these stars from this other company and just give them the limelight again. And it kind of fucking sucks. It's scary for a lot of people in the business who think they have a chance. But it's not. They're not the only company. I just realized that there's a whole nother company that you can still make a pretty decent living off of and still do independence. MLW, which they have a TV program, and you probably never even heard of them, Major League Wrestling. And you can sign a contract with them and still do independence and end up probably making a living off pro wrestling.
Wow.
And there's a lot of people doing it. So it's still out there, and Impact Wrestling is still around. It's not on mainstream TV, but it's still doing well. And all those guys still can charge an arm and a leg for an independent booking. Guess what? Promoters pay it.
Right.
Like, I had found out a certain wrestler was trying to pick up a date through SCW, and he's like, hey, you guys don't even have to pay my trans. I'm already going to be in the area. Just, hit up Merrick Brave. And I won't say the name because I don't want to get heat, but the guy asked for $400 a booking and fucking gets it. Like, he does that two weekends, or he does that a Friday and a Saturday, and then has a guaranteed contract through MLW. This guy is making a living off pro wrestling. You know what I mean?
Of negotiation.
Right. But when you're over, you're over too. Yeah.
You know, he might have started way up above that and then got 400.
Honestly,
you know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah. He might have shot high.
The idea of trying to make a living off of like something that requires performance in front of an audience now just seems so much scarier than like before COVID.
Right.
Because that shit showed how like that made me go, oh, I don't want to have to rely on music to survive.
Right. Well, there was that.
It is so, not that I was going to, but like
Lyndon would have.
I think it's,
if
I
the
think
right
now,
band would have called
I think
him up.
Now it's
Lyndon's like, yeah, I'm there.
I think now it's, and I'm not telling anybody not to try, because if that's your thing, then go for it. But man, it is so unsustainable now, because something like that can just happen and suddenly go, oh, lights are off.
Well, I made the joke to Derek. I said, Derek, and then this is, Derek, you're not on the podcast, but let me repeat the joke. We're talking about our band, and we're talking about doing this full length or whatever. And I said, don't worry, it's not going to be cool anyway, because we're fucking old. But that's not true. That's not true, that's a young man's game. What you're talking about
not
is
necessarily.
people that will sleep on somebody's couch when they're 20. I would have died to sleep on somebody's couch just to have the conversation piece when I was young. So
you still have to be willing to do it.
Yeah, you gotta be right. You gotta be willing to.
Dude, I way back in the day, Obsidian Hammer opened for DRI at Ribco, and those dudes were still driving around in a shitty Chevy conversion van with a tiny trailer. DRI.
Yeah,
and
they've been around fucking
forever.
80s.
I mean, they invented crossover thrash.
Yeah, they were the first ones to kind of do that.
You ever seen like the symbol with the guy like two-stepping, and it's like they're the ones that had like the hats that flipped up and it said "rad" on them.
Yep.
Or waist, like
and then obviously Suicidal Tendencies stole the whole thing and it just said suicide.
DRI invented crossover thrash. They put punk and thrash together and made it like what that is now. Like bands like Power Trip and Municipal Waste. And,
Yep.
you know,
Nice.
It all started with them.
those guys and those dudes are still doing it like that. They're not driving around in a bus. They're fucking touring around in a shitty, rusty van.
Right.
You know
Because
what?
they're
At one
fucking
point,
legit.
you become accustomed to that lifestyle.
Yeah. Like,
Oh, yeah, I get it.
like
If
first of all, I'm gonna backtrack and I was gonna say,
Yeah.
I look at bands that blow up, and part of me goes, "Fuck, why is this band blowing up, and why not my band?" Obviously, which is the worst way to think about any kind of creative
100%.
endeavor. Is like, why am I not succeeding versus this person? Because it doesn't fucking matter,
Right.
But the thing to remember also is like Pit Lord has only been around for 5 years, give or take. A lot of these bands that are huge right now have been going for 10 plus years, dude.
Yep.
And it only broke like 2 years ago.
Right.
And a lot of it had to do with COVID. And then like, obviously like Trevor, but a lot of people that were home just listening to shit.
Right.
I know you guys don't give a shit about this band, but I also watched a little video about them. When Ice Nine Kills started, they were a straight up regular screamo band. Like, didn't fucking shine through at all. It took them almost fucking 15 years to find their niche.
Yeah, they had to figure
and
it
then boom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
15 years
And
is a long time.
props to them for sticking with it and trying things.
Yeah.
Because so many people
Agreed.
They do a band for 2+ years and they record an album and then they don't know what to do. A lot of bands that happens. People go through the trouble of recording an album, they pay for it, they do and then they put it out and then they don't know what to do because some people don't want to sleep on couches. Some people want to get hotel rooms every night and that's not sustainable either.
Nope.
You have to have a bedroll with you and assume that you're going to sleep on hard concrete or something. And people are afraid to do that. And like, a lot of people that are older are like, well, I can't do that anymore. You better.
Yeah.
You better.
Well, you don't better. I mean, if your goal is to just kind of, like you said earlier, we're talking about kind of like studio people. That I think I am with certain things in my head. I go, okay, this project I'd never be able to play live because there's no fucking drummers that can play this. And I say that, and then I'm like being realistic because I actually know what drummers that I know, and I'm like,
can't always
they'd even be like, what the fuck? Because I have all these ideas I haven't put out, but I know that, but then I think about it and I go, okay, well, if there was somebody to step up full bore on that, you know what I mean? Like, but those people too are a dime a dozen. It just depends on the genre.
Right.
So when we're talking about the Shug project, which we have been recording, I look at it and go, I think a lot of drummers can play this, Lyndon. In the Quad Cities.
I don't think that. I mean, it doesn't seem. I mean, there might be some intricacy,
like that last part you were recording.
Right.
That's a little weird and intricate, but we could dial that down. But I think any drummer that I know could probably play the Shug project. So that actually makes that project.
Let's have Trevor Girdall do it because he's hilarious as well.
Listen,
Yeah, actually, like if he can.
there is no reason to assume that you have to play everything exactly how it is on the recording.
True.
Unless it's like night and day difference. Because like me and Dan, we record songs and then months later relearn them to play them live, and it's almost like we've never played them before.
Right.
And sometimes you have to do things differently because you realize that recording something versus playing it in the moment. So what I was
getting
adjustments.
at. So what I was getting at, and you're on the same page.
Yeah.
I feel like what I'm saying for the technical death metal style, it's almost like the person coming to that show that I want to impress wants to go, they fucking killed it and they did exactly what they did on the album, because that's how I am. Like a fucking, it's not the right way to look at things.
No, I would.
By the way,
I do that too.
Subjective, by the way.
I do that too.
right.
I look at it how I were looking at it from the outside if I didn't know what was going on, and I use that to base my decisions off of.
But we're
and
also
sometimes
musicians.
it's not. Yeah, sometimes it's
So
not.
we think like musicians.
Sometimes it's not the best way to think.
So then I have the opposite side of the spectrum.
Right.
Is if, all right, so maybe they didn't nail it perfectly on the album,
Right.
but goddamn, were they fucking entertaining live?
Right.
That can be a different fucking
I'm gonna
aspect
say
too.
2 out of 10 people are not going to notice that much.
Well,
You
and
know,
again, I think like
especially in technical stuff, like
it really,
on.
that's the only time I'm going to say
Only you two stuck up cunts would fucking point out somebody fucking up. Well, only that one I would say. Did you hear him fuck up?
Well, I like it. Look at it.
Meshuggah.
First of all, I can't even. The Meshuggah thing is the
best musicians on the
that's
planet.
the-
I have to say that.
That's the only time I can remember
Yeah, I've
seeing
never
a big
done that.
band fuck up live, and that's minuscule.
Right,
You know,
right,
with
right.
I was
Meshuggah.
also, just kind of just going like, oh, I heard it, and that was
Yeah.
kind of that was rude. I should not do that because musicians fuck
Thomas
up. Dude.
Hawk didn't hear you.
Dearborn
nobody did.
Dearborn showed me a video of Nevermore where the drummer started playing the wrong fucking song.
I've heard some stories about live Nevermore shows. Like I heard they were pretty rough at
Oh
times.
man, we were fucking on it the other night. me
I
and
guess the
Shug, and we
guitarist
listened to
started playing it
Nevermore.
with him and looked at him and goes,
Loomis.
I feel like every band I've been in has had that happen once.
they skipped the song on the
We were
playlist.
just talking about it. If they're on the road like they used to be,
Yeah.
and all of a sudden, you're like a robot, and somebody you think the set list said this, and you just started
Right.
on it.
Yeah.
Come on, man, you're a robot. You're just playing.
Oh, yeah, dude.
Yeah, and you might be.
That's why it'd be nice to probably switch it up
Yeah.
every once in a while.
Oh, a
'cause
lot
then
of
it's
bands
like,
do.
you're just like, man,
you
I
should.
play the same fucking thing, the same order.
Right.
Well, okay, so like, yes and no. It depends. I've been in situations where I'm like, why are we doing like a different set every show? That was Crater. We would
Right.
play almost like a different set every show, even though like shows were like 3 to 6 months in between. It's like didn't matter much.
Right.
But it makes way more of a difference when you practice and you nail a specific set and you have that set for a certain amount of time. Like you're going to play this set this year for this tour or whatever.
Right.
And then change it. Well, you should change it, but not show to show, because that doesn't make you solid.
Yeah,
unless
no,
you're
no,
just
no.
amazing.
Right.
That's how bands get to be so solid, is you spend months practicing a specific set and you know it back and forth.
So that's what Dark Rift did. And again, it was kind of a difficult time, and I don't want to compare because obviously there was more. There was just more. There's more bands for our drummer to be playing with, so it's hats off to the guy who's in 3 different bands at the same time and remembers our set. Brandon Park, shout us out.
That's fucking wild.
Yeah,
He's that kind
insane.
of player that he can be a hired gun because he's really good at learning stuff. Like, I've met plenty of people like that. I'm not like that.
Right.
Like I would rather play, I know something. I can't pick up a set and just learn it. Like,
Which is wild to think about, those hired guns that can do that shit.
well, that's a
That's
specific
fucking
type of
wild.
person. I used to compare myself to that person. Like, why can I not learn stuff like that? It's like, because some people are just really good at that. And that's why some people are only session or touring musicians and some people just never are,
Yeah.
And I feel like that's more common. That's, you play in one band or, you play stuff that you wrote or were part of creating.
Yeah.
And then some people can't do that and can only learn other people's stuff like in a day,
Which is still fucking crazy.
It's crazy.
Dude. Like,
It's so wild.
to learn all their songs in a fucking day is just. At least the songs they're going to play live.
I don't know if they're doing it in that amount of time, but I mean, in probably weeks. Like,
Yeah,
think about
still.
those people. Think about like bands that like put out auditions. Like when Decapitated were getting ready to get back and they needed a drummer.
Right.
I feel like drums can be a little bit different because you're not hitting notes necessarily.
Right.
It's more muscle memory and remembering, being good enough.
Technique.
Yeah, technique. But like just the idea of
A
like,
recent one I would say with that for sure is Charlie Benante. Like,
Especially at his
fucking
age.
A.
At his
Like,
age,
he hit every fucking thing on those videos.
Yeah.
To the point where I was
Charlie
like,
was everyone. He
do
was,
you want to be in the Shug project?
but
buddy?
like Charlie was
Yeah.
kind of
he
never.
was always versatile.
Well, yeah, but nobody ever. I don't think he got as much credit as
He should have.
as he did.
Stormtroopers of Death, bro.
Right, I
That
know.
was a lot of really cool ass thrash shit.
But like, I don't think
Hardcore.
Charlie got as much credit from a lot of those
he's
thrash
played-
drummers
he's
than.
played in a lot of other bands though.
Oh, yeah.
Years, hasn't he? I mean, so he's. I mean, at that age, how are you not good?
Right.
At doing that.
Man,
that's a lot of muscle, though. You
He's
gotta
dating
keep it up,
he's
right?
dating the other singer of Butcher Babies, the dark-haired one.
Oh,
Yeah, and she's literally like half his age. Good for you.
I was gonna
Good for
say
you, Charlie.
12? Is she
Good for you,
12?
bud. No, I mean she's like probably our age.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. The Butcher Baby's been around for a while. They're
Like they're straight up like
women.
Heidi follows. You said Heidi follows you on Instagram.
She follows Pitlord.
Pit Lord, yeah.
She doesn't interact with us, so she may not even.
But it's crazy that she's fucking followed you guys on Instagram.
I didn't even know who she was the first time. I just looked into it. I was like, Butcher Babies. Why do I know that name? But
I like the
looked into it
name.
further.
I'll just add her.
But like
Heidi the Butcher. That's what she came up with. And I was like,
it's like that's a cool name.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just wild. It's like, all right, like she grew up probably listening to Anthrax, you know? So like
imagine that.
That's fucking wild.
Dude, that's awesome. I did not. I hated Anthrax. I still do.
I'm not. I've never been big into them.
Anyway,
dude, I like.
I know they're original though.
I like
I'm not
Anthrax.
Stupid.
Their album Time.
As an original band, I get it. Go ahead.
Their album, like, what was it? The Perception of Time. That album from top to bottom is pretty fucking rad, actually. Like it's really heavy thrash too.
Yeah.
For Anthrax, anyways. Even
I get it.
I don't know. I like them, dude. I always have. And then like
I seen them once when they played here with Rob Zombie. It's Anthrax. It was just Anthrax and Rob Zombie.
That's pretty cool.
That would have been a badass show.
Listen, it was all
just
right.
Rob Zombie,
but here's the
straight
thing.
up, bro.
Here's the thing.
Zombie puts on a fucking killer show.
This was when it was. This is in like 2008, and this was the Mark when it was still the Mark. I think they hadn't changed from the Mark yet.
Right.
And they didn't even turn the house lights off for Anthrax.
That's fucking shitty.
Me and Varner were there.
2008, they still had John Bush back in the band too.
Yeah.
Which by the way, I'm not like I get a lot of shit for that. I was a John Bush fan. I like John Bush's vocals more than.
I don't even know what that means, but
Anthrax fans. Well, it's like a Jesse Leach versus Howard Jones kind of thing.
They
but actually, like their vocals are like. I think even polar opposites compared to those two. Even at least those guys sounded kind of similar, but like John Bush and fucking Joey Belladonna don't sound anything alike at all.
It's not like Alice in Chains now versus then where the new singer sounds.
Oh, dude, it's like you close your eyes and
Jerry
you're like
Cantrell still sounds amazing, but then the new guy sounds almost exactly like Lane Staley.
Yeah, it's fucking wild.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's wild. Dude.
The last few albums Alice in Chains has put out, and they've been really good.
Yeah, Lyndon showed me what was it? Check My Brain when that came out. I was like, I wasn't going to give it a fucking chance at all.
Black Gives Way to Blue. It's really good. And I've listened to one or two after that, and then I still just go back and listen to Facelift, but Black Gives Way to Blue is really good. Just that album just
nice.
We were jamming that in West 2nd Street, and Lyndon was like, just listen.
Just listen.
And I was like, dude, this sounds like fucking Lynn Staley. He took his essence and fucking captured it.
I had only just heard that recently because Zach Damp showed it to me, and he did the same thing to me. He's like, have you heard the new Alice in Chains? I'm like, dude, come on. And
shout out to Zach D. I haven't seen you for a while.
Yeah, man,
I've seen you randomly at a Target, but that's been like a year and a half ago or some shit. Great player.
Yeah, you're really good. Really creative. Definitely a player that needs to be the only guitar player in a band because he writes.
That's a shout at you, Derek, you bitch.
Well, I mean, I've known plenty. By now, I've known plenty of guitar players like that, where it's like it's either you work with somebody well,
my way or the highway.
And I always really liked Derek and Zach.
Yeah,
but they have very specific styles, and they don't always mesh well with like other players. That's fine,
right?
I mean, plenty of bands like that.
Yeah.
Zach, still a good player, still fucking fantastic. But
that was Praetorius at that time. Crater, you guys were doing great, man. I thought that was a great band.
It was all right. I look back on it now, and
he's just still doing stuff, right? Wayne,
he does improv and still does stand up and stuff.
He's not in a band.
Okay.
But like, man, yeah, Crater was good. They got really comfortable playing in town a lot and saying yes to like every show that happens every year. And when I got in the band, I mean, it was kind of on the downward slope because everybody was tired. I could tell everybody was, kind of maybe not bored, but that kind of thing. And definitely learned a lot of lessons from being in that band and how, I saw how I didn't want to run a band after that. It's like Pit Lord was me and Dan exercising our ideas that we, couldn't necessarily put in place with Crater because you have a lot of other people that are involved, and there's two people you can go, let's do this, and the other guy goes, yep, and then that's it.
Yeah. 2 people.
Oh my god,
that's magic right there, man.
We're working on doing a weekend run in the South finally in May.
Nice.
Pretty excited about that. We got asked by a handful of bands to do runs, and it didn't quite work out any times. So, like this year, it's like already.
What part of the South?
I'm not gonna. I don't know exactly yet, but it'll be probably. It'll probably start in Missouri, and then I've heard.
Ooh, Missouri loves company. Go ahead.
Well, so I don't know yet. But we've talked about like Birmingham, not Birmingham. Like what am I trying to think? Nashville, not Nashville. So like Missouri, and then probably Alabama, and maybe Tennessee, and come back.
It's still places you've never been before. So
places we've never played.
That's awesome.
All 3.
Dude, that'd be
I
dope.
think it's 3 dates, and it's all stuff we haven't played. So it's exciting.
That's one thing I've never done as a pro wrestler is go down there and wrestle in the South either. And I've heard that. I've been on shows with some kids who are from the South, and they're like, dude, you ain't got to do any of this shit there. I was like, all right, like I could just take my sweet ass time and do nothing. Like, he's like, kinda.
Oh my god! In Birmingham, I hear they love the governor or something.
Oh yeah, there we go. There's a Skinner reference. I can't remember exactly, but yeah, so that would be cool. And I've been wanting to do that for a long fucking time, and we're finally ready. But
You're the Lord of the Pit. You know what's cool, man? Like you said, is the fewer the band members, the better.
Yes,
I probably
Shug
agree.
Project
Actually,
has 19 people.
we're Slipknot number 2.
We're cutting the fat. Yeah, we got a guy beating a trash can. What the fuck?
What is it with Iowa bands? Either having too many or not enough members.
Is that a meme?
It's either 20 people
Oh
or
my
2.
god, we should turn that into a meme.
Well, I mean, again, we have a lot of cats that we played in bands with. He was just talking about Crater. He was talking about Crater. Zach Damp is also in a band with Derek, and Derek was in that band. What was it? Ancients.
And then Ageless.
You weren't in Ancients, right?
I was
You were
in Ancients at the end of it before it switched to Ageless.
Okay.
So it was like Ancients.
What was the meaning behind the name change, by the way? Was there a reason for that?
Well, yeah, because I joined the band. They went without. They had like a bass player, quote unquote. I would say
That dude was cool as fuck. What was his name? He was a Mexican dude. Oh,
the
Carlos
guy that
was
didn't
so
play.
cool.
He couldn't play.
He couldn't play, but he was the coolest dude I've ever fucking met. He was so drunk.
Logan always thinks people who just get hammered
People who
are
are
fucking
like,
That guy
cool.
was cool.
Habitual fucking scumbags.
He came down to West Second
That guy
Street.
was cool.
No, dude, that guy came down to
You
West
do
Second
have a
Street.
problem with just liking
And
scumbags and thinking they're
He
cool.
was the best scumbag. I loved you, Carlos.
He showed me a knife that had blood on it. He was cool.
I don't know if he did that. I just remember him saying, "I'll pound a whore in your."
He told me a story about how he threw a baby in a dumpster.
Oh my god!
No, but I joined, and then that went on for a little bit. Like Ancients was kind of a band for like a year and a half or 2 years or so, if I'm right. And then Zach left, and Dan left, and so Tim Holst started playing with us, and then it was just Derek, and we wrote a bunch of new songs, and Ageless. Then it was just changed it because it was just so different. Things had moved, kind of progressed. So yeah, I changed the name. Derek wanted to. There was a reference to Ageless, Still I Am, Morbid Angel, off Gateways.
Right. That makes sense.
It was just a change.
Stuff.
I guess it was more so more of a focus on being something rather than just like what the band was before. So,
well, I want to say that I think Derek learned the same way you learned from those experiences, the same way I learned. But he goes, "Oh, I have to find the right players for what I'm trying to do." So Xenospawn is like almost the perfect players for what he wants because everybody wants to do it, And it was really, really awesome to meet Duncan and chop it up with him.
Such a cool dude.
Dude,
That's such a
amazing.
cool dude who's
Shug
been
and I
around.
got to meet him at the same time, basically. I've never really got to talk to him.
Yeah, he's a cool
I've
dude.
said hi to him, and
I just
Never heard any of his stories.
Dude, he has stories up the
Fucking
yin yang.
amazing.
Dude,
I mean, he's lived a
cool.
life.
I can tell
He's
you,
been there.
I can tell you a story I remember about
Yeah.
Duncan, and it was when Helm Splitter, we did a 2-day thing with one was with the Horde, and then the other date was in Milwaukee. I don't know if the Horde was on that or not, but we played a show with the Horde in Springfield, Illinois. Was it Springfield?
Springfield, Illinois is a real place, yes. It's not even that far away, I would
It may
say.
not have been Springfield, but Champaign, Illinois, which
yeah,
is not far away.
The worst.
Yeah, it was a trash.
It's farther than you think.
Capital-
It's still like
capital of the world.
2 hours,
Yeah,
2.5
it
hours.
was 2.5 hours.
There's not a lot of champagne there.
It was no, not all. Those people there have never heard of champagne. It was this bar that they yelled at us for putting our gear in front of the slot machines. Even though,
I
nobody was
remember
there.
Derek,
And-
bitch.
So, was Derek? Was he playing with the? I don't know if he was. Yeah, he was in. I think he was.
Oh
playing
yeah,
with them at the time.
I remember
but-
this story. Good.
Do you?
Derek was there.
He may have been.
And
I don't
he's
remember. That's
a
not
little
part,
bitch.
No, that's not part of the story, Derek. We're
No?
talking about Duncan.
Oh, okay.
So it was. I was in Helm Splitter was on the show, and there was nothing but townies at the show, and I think there's 3 bands total in this one band. The other band was local, and most of the people there were there to see them, and otherwise there's just this trash townies there. And Ross, our guitar player and Helm Splitter, goes to he goes to take a piss, and he's in the bathroom, and these other guys go in there and they start talking shit to each other, and Ross is in there pissing, and the guys one of the dudes moves the other guy's beer, which is sitting on the urinal. This is Ross telling me this part of the story. And they get mad at each other because they're wasted. It was 5 p.m. And then these guys were wasted. And this fight breaks out in this bathroom, and Ross is still in there pissing, and he can't get out. Or he's still in there.
That's the worst place.
And the commotion kind of spills out of the bathroom.
Oh my God.
And we all realize there's a fight going on. And fucking Duncan immediately is grabbing people by the shoulder and just moving them, and he's like, "Ross, are you okay, buddy?" And he's just throwing these people out of his way because he's fucking 700 feet tall. Dude, Ross comes out of the bathroom buttoning his pants, and he's he was totally fine. and the bar owner grabs these guys and fucking tosses them outside, and Jerry's
fuck.
But it was just so funny. Nobody could have stood in this dude's way.
Dude, he is a massive, just a tall
He's not
fucking
built,
dude.
but he's just lanky enough that he can he's like one of the Ents from Lord of the Rings.
His arms are long enough. He's like Stretch Armstrong. He just pulls
dude, that's what it was. Dude, I saw this grown man it was like a 10-year-old getting thrown around. Somebody just grabbed him and went, fuck. Fucking Jerry was going to fuck these dudes up to get Ross out of the bathroom, and he didn't need to. But it's so funny. After that, I knew Jerry was legit good dude. Just
super good dude. Super good, cool stories. I caught a buzz, so I thought you said Derek was a part of the story. That was my bad. I was a buzz.
Jerry Duncan, lifelong band guy. I mean,
he was talking about how he's been a part of a lot of cool shit.
He's done
he's been there for some eras, man.
much
in the 80s and stuff.
Yeah,
and
that
he's still. I mean, he's still the man.
Yeah,
super good player. I thought it was interesting when Derek said Jerry was in there,
right,
in Xenospawn, because he didn't strike me as that kind of a player. And then you watch him, and it's holy shit, dude's play whatever he wants to play.
Well, he also works manufacturing, and we won't get too much into him, but basically, I think that kind of makes you go, all right, dude, I work with a lot of pieces of shit.
I have all my Inspirato. Hey, I'll write a song about you today, you piece of shit.
When you work a job like that, you will very most likely be the only person that does anything outside of that
100%.
job. Like if you're
100%.
if you're in a band,
Plumber.
Oh my god!
everybody in those places they have
There's not a lot
given
of
up.
Mario Brothers in there, are there? In that plumbing industry.
Here we go.
Hey, Chris fucking Pratt joke.
Like
I'm gonna do a Pratt fall on this fucking.
Hey, by the
episode.
way, his voice actually sounds pretty good as fucking Mario.
yeah,
from
who
the
gives a
trailer.
shit? I think it'd be funny. I don't know. It looks great. It looks like a fun movie.
Dude, it does. It looks fun.
Like
there's
but-
probably no murder in the movie,
but I just-
though, so you won't like it.
you know, I'm 34. I'm 34, and I know people that are the same age as me that don't play music anymore, and they use age
Right.
as an excuse. And no, I get some people need a reason, or you know, you have health problems that stop you from being that and whatever. But like,
You just have more in general. And that's why, like, you say, hey, I'm going to come over early and I'm going to record. I go, fuck yeah.
yeah,
You know, like, if I can
By the
get
way,
that
when
from
this
you.
is all said and done, I do want to hear what he recorded because I remember when I heard
we
what
could do
Jake
it
recorded.
for the-
I didn't hear any of that. I didn't hear any of what Jake.
I wonder if Logan was like, I don't know if I'm going to save any of it. Then, did you save both?
Oh, yeah.
Okay,
Now,
this is going to be fun.
What Shug just did kind of sucks.
I love Jake. Don't get me wrong, but I do want to
He's just
hear.
bringing that
I
up.
do want to hear both
Jake-
sides
and I
of
think
this.
Jake is
me
such.
and said, fuck you. Have Lyndon do it. I suck.
Jake
He's
is
going to bring
such a-
over his
the
bullets
funny
that are
thing,
hollow
Jake is-
points and
Jake
kill
is
you.
such a more Jake is such a more technically proficient player than I am. At least
That's
in,
what
in
he'll say
certain
to you
ways.
about you bitch.
He does
Yeah,
say
he
the
says
same
it- says
thing
it to me. I
about
don't
you,
understand.
dude.
Oh,
Like
my
we played
God.
when we did the release show, and he came up to me after we were done. He's like, "Don't you ever say that you're like not better than me because you're fucking so much better, you piece of shit." And
He
I
was
don't know.
also feeling some type of way.
probably,
That's all I'm going to say.
yeah. No, I mean like, but I like it's been a long time since I have like fantasized about being like a kind of player that makes people jealous, and I want to be better than everybody. Like
And that's when you usually
with
end
that
up
scenario-
getting better, though.
Go
Is
ahead.
you're like, I'm not striving to be better than anyone. I just want to be the best player I can be, and I want to play something different that I feel.
Well, let me say
And that's-
something super in general. Okay. Wouldn't you think the guy playing bass for the Shug Project would be in the Shug's podcast?
I love you, Jake. I love you.
makes sense.
The one bass player that we have on here every week.
We still need to bring.
Not
We
every
still
week.
need to bring him on because he does talk wrestling.
Oh,
So-
yeah.
Hey,
Jake's
now,
good.
hold on. The whole point I'm here is because I
Because
don't
you
talk
don't
wrestling.
talk. Yes, that's very
So-
true. But Jake is actually more on top of
He
wrestling
is
than
a
even
wrestling
both
guru.
of us are. Even
yeah,
for
way
that
more
matter.
than me. That's sad.
Yeah, like I mean, half the time I read the gossip, the news and stuff, but like I'm not always watching the programs.
Well, also,
Right.
I mean, you can say the same thing about bands that like are touring constantly. Those guys don't always know what is like happening in music as a whole.
True,
in
yeah,
that
yeah.
respective genre all the time. Like maybe bands they know, and I could be wrong because obviously the internet exists, but like like a band like Cannibal Corpse, who they make their living off of that. Like those guys aren't constantly, at least the way what I would assume anyways, I guess I should say, is they don't constantly have their ear to the ground. They're not like watching what's happening, and because they're busy,
right? Yeah, yeah.
they're trying to keep their band
Right.
like together and
Oh, yeah.
and work and make money and stuff. So you can't expect everybody who's involved in that thing to know everything that's going on in that thing.
Yes, I agree.
I prefer to be the exception to that. I want to know constantly as far as like metal in general, and I try my best to keep up. But yeah, I can't hear everything either because I was telling Logan, there's fucking 800 death metal albums released last year.
Yeah.
800.
Oh, I know that's fucking
And
wild.
like fucking how I don't know. But I maybe know 0.8% of those.
And I'll tell you what,
maybe-
Shug, he knows a lot more than me. I loved Lyndon's like review things that you do on Facebook. I don't know if you're still doing that at all. Or you just said, fuck
I don't
it.
do anything like
you
so
know?
extensive.
But
where I rank,
he used
like,
to
a bunch of
review,
shit.
and it was like,
Yeah, but that's time consuming too, though. Like
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's like-
I like to
Everything
post.
is.
Yeah.
I like to post stuff that I really like, and I'll like write, just what's off the top of my head, and then that's it. Because I know people that write really extensive reviews on Facebook and stuff every time they post music, and it's honestly, it's exhausting. I can't read that.
Not only that, I just watched a movie last night, and those people who do that, yeah, they should do what that guy did in that movie. The Menu.
Oh, I vaguely know what that movie is. I vaguely know what that movie is.
Me and bro were talking about it, and he told me, he's like, it's so fucking dark. I love it. And then I watched it last night, and I was like,
yeah, I've heard the basic.
What was it?
yeah,
I've heard the basic
called The
concept
Menu.
of it.
It's on
I've never heard of that.
HBO Max. Fucking amazing. It's super fucking dark.
It's a major like stomp on like high end like chefs and like food.
Okay.
Like foodie.
And then
culture
foodie
stuff.
motherfuckers, and this is the person I'm talking about, like gets put in a position and he is made of a fucking fool because people do this with wrestling, they do this with music, they do this, they write these fucking paragraphs thinking they know fucking anything and they don't. And then he's put in a position, this guy is put in a position, and guess what? Fuck him, he hangs himself in the back room.
Hey, don't spoil it. I wasn't going to watch it, but don't spoil it.
You don't know what person I'm talking about.
Shug,
So
please use this term. Backseat wrestlers. Shut your mouth.
Oh, not only that, and then what'd you call them?
my
Shitty
God.
townies?
Yeah.
A bunch of shitty townies backseat wrestlers over here.
I just like
Turn it into a shirt.
I've known people over the years
Keyboard wrestlers.
I've known people over the years who would like post way long-winded reviews of stuff, and like, I mean, it'll just be one long paragraph, and they don't say anything, and it's like, these are people I know that they write things as if they know everything that's coming out, and they only listen to metal, and they don't, and like, it's been a handful of people, and that kind of turned me off against it. And I don't want to do anything that if it pops up a year later and I see it and I cringe, like, that was all of my writing before.
Right.
I would rather just recommend stuff. Here's why. And that's it.
Yeah.
Like, and it's just a time. It's just to fill my time.
And then that way, like you said, you can't look back at it and go, wow, I can't believe I fucking said that.
Yeah, what was I trying to do with this? Like, the fuck? I just, nah. Like,
and like also, my thing is now, like what we're doing is we put people over. It's like the complete opposite of just to take an album or a song and just take a giant shit on it.
Jake's feeling sour.
Hey, listen, I still fucking love Jake, and I do.
Hey, hold on. You know how sour he's feeling? Stone sour.
Oh wow. Hey, they made money.
He's new metal. Fuck, I'm sorry. He's a new metal buddy.
But anyways, I still like fucking Stone Sour too, so I'm still on that new metal fucking band, but whatever.
Anyway.
But like we're not shitting on him, but like I still enjoy listening to him play. It's not like I don't like. I fucking like watching him play and enjoy listening to him play. It's not like we're shitting on him by any means, but like it's just different. It's
no,
just
I mean,
different,
and again, I told him this, and this is true. Like that night, I looked at him and like a jackass. I feel like kind of bad, but not really. I said, "Play it like Lyndon would play it."
He did. I was sitting right fucking here.
You said you would confirm it.
Yes,
that's not even a lie. He really did. He really did say that.
Karen and play like fucking Lyndon would.
He was over. He really.
Can I just say
Lyndon
something?
played like Lyndon.
I just need to say something.
Yeah.
To clear this up and just make sure.
Oh no!
Cool. I fucking win, Jake. I fucking won. That's it. You see this hat? You see this hat? John 3:16. True story, Jake.
Oh my god!
I bought this at Goodwill today.
He's probably got that tattooed on his fucking loins, Jake.
I was chosen by God, Jake, to be the number one. The number one.
Shit. It's Lyndon 316 now. The glass is shattering.
Lyndon 316 says, I just dismantle, bitch.
You thought you could do it with 5 strings, and I only did it with 4. One note, Jake. Slide all the way up the neck.
Fucking cutting promos on each other and shit.
I use the same plugin as you too.
Holy fucking A.
I love music. No, Jake.
You can respond to the next episode.
Jake
Yeah,
is,
let Jake cut a promo.
I have been so lucky because I've met so many players that are better than me, and they've all been wonderful, fucking amazing cats. And like I've never met a bassist. I've never met another bassist as far as like players go that were like shitty or competitive. Maybe really, really long time ago in like high school or something. I couldn't even tell you anymore, but like because I was probably one of like 2 or 3 bassists in that existed around.
Oh,
here at the
Al
time.
Raymond hated your guts.
I don't know the name.
I'm just making it up. Now, listen, he was there.
Fuck you, Al Raymond. I never even heard of you.
But hang on. Let me interject here for
Anybody
a second.
who ever took over bass, which Lyndon did for our band, they were
I
like,
was always
fuck
the
Lyndon.
I'm sure.
I was always the replacement bassist.
replacement.
And everybody goes,
Yeah.
why didn't we just get you? I don't know. I was busy.
Let's just get him a T-shirt that says "The Replacement."
no, Lyndon knows. I've seen him play the one time, and I go,
I'm the replacement that stays.
Replacist.
Yes, that's it. Permanent.
That's a hard R.
But hang on, like we're putting over how people used to get jealous and shit. There's this meme going on with Jamie Lee Curtis, and I don't know if anybody's seen it. She's sitting next to her. She was the main actress, and she was a supporting actress in a movie of like Everything Always. That's a time travel movie.
Everyone, everywhere, everything, everywhere, all at once.
Yes, which
I
I
haven't
do
watched
want to
that yet.
fucking see.
She was in that?
Jamie Lee Curtis is in that.
I haven't seen
And
it.
then she's sitting next to the woman who wins the fucking Golden Globes, and Jamie Lee Curtis is fucking screaming like she won. And I'm like, that is the fucking friend. That is
Right.
us.
Yeah.
That is us. If fucking one of us like took off like a fucking bat out of hell, we would be right there fucking cheerleading. And I'm like, that's fucking awesome.
That's like, and I've seen people, I've met people like who were far more successful, or at the time are now, whatever, that are, players they're better than me, whatever. And none of them were anything like, you guys suck. I've met nothing but people that were like, happy to meet us, meet me, or whatever. And I've been lucky, I guess. And there's probably people that didn't like me that I didn't know or whatever. I don't know what reason they would have.
There's a lot.
I hope so.
Something is fucking nose.
I really hope so. I would love to find out that there's somebody that
Something stupid.
was
Something
really,
so dumb.
really shitty about me, and I'd just be like, I don't
He
know.
plays with his fingers. What the fuck?
But no,
fingering?
Man, I wish I had somebody to bring up and be like, fuck you, but I don't.
Right.
It's like I've been fucking lucky.
And again, it's all changing with pro wrestling too. I guess anybody who's young still could do that.
Right.
But me at my age, like, I'm here to support all the young cats and like fucking all of them.
Man, I mean, I'm put Frontal Assault over right now because I heard a new song that they're going to release in the coming weeks, and Jesus Christ.
Oh, fuck yeah.
I mean, those kids are like, I wish I was working that hard when I was fucking, between the ages of 18 and 22.
That's such a fucking bright future for those dudes, man.
They have
working
energy.
hard then. Yeah, you're right.
But it's only, that's the thing, is it's only encouraged me to be like, because I'll talk to those guys and be like, you guys should do this and this and this. And then they'll do something completely that I would not even considered, like whatever promotion wise.
Yeah.
Fuck, I gotta do that.
Right? It still gives you inspirato. You're like, all right, these fucking young
Here's
cats,
the thing,
man.
when you want to do something some creative endeavor or performance art, it only helps when you band together with people and support each other.
And steal their ideas.
Sure.
Well, sometimes.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
I mean, whatever. Like,
Well, it
gets
happens.
warm,
But I mean, but again, if you steal the idea and it's shit, it's like a remake. Well, that was dog shit.
I've had people message the Pit Lord Instagram. For some reason, we get a lot of the random shit on Instagram, and people that have messaged us and been like, wow, we just found out about you guys. We were just going to do a project just like that, and blah, blah, blah. And I'll just sit there and go, well, go ahead and do it.
Yeah, what the fuck?
Even though I know, like, part of me wants to be like, well, we're doing it, so good luck, because you're just going to get compared to us.
Right. Yeah,
I'm also worried because there's still a lot of people that haven't heard of us, and I would hate for like a band to pop up and like
to take your
East
idea
Coast,
and go,
and they're doing it, and they just happen to know somebody, and it's that's worrisome. But at the same time, they'll never be what we're doing, and they'll never, because
you're always gonna have your same sound.
Exactly. So it's like, I mean, even like people think.
Well, and now you have albums out to show that this is us.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
You can't fucking take this from us. We've done it. It's here.
Good luck.
Fucking sealed. Year, everything.
Yeah,
right.
The CD that I gave to Shane,
fucking here.
It's still sealed. It has not moved.
I like to fucking hold it up.
Pretty
Look
sure
at
that's
it.
mine, Lyndon.
Buy it.
Oh, is that yours?
Buy it.
Okay,
That's mine.
Oh, go
I was
figure.
gonna say mine's in my fucking truck.
All
What the
right, all
fuck?
right. It's just where you sit.
I
So.
don't have to. I got Spotify. I can just
that's
listen to
true.
these guys on Spotify.
Well,
Yeah, but I still open
Bandcamp.
mine up and actually put it in my CD player.
And like, people think Mutilation Barbecue is a barbecue death metal band, and it's like that's just their title. But I'm happy to know those guys who they're just killing it all the time, and they're super young too. But they're not what we are.
Exactly.
Some people think so, but when you dig into it, you see, that's just their name. They're a really good death metal band. Check out Mutilation Barbecue; they're fucking sick.
Check out Mutilation
shout
Barbecue,
out Cleveland,
for sure.
Ohio, Cincinnati, Ohio.
Dude, Ohio is just full of like
Ohio's
people just
killing
want to
it.
fucking kill, bro.
That's true.
And
It's a shithole.
it is. That's why.
It's a fucking shithole.
That's why
Is
it's
this not a shithole?
Yeah, but like Cleveland, I've been there. Me and Colby have done. Check this shit out. I got a story. We drove 6.5 hours, bro. Fucking snowstorm. We made it. Half the roster that was local didn't even come to the fucking show.
Damn.
Oh, suck my dick.
6.5 hours, we did it. Colby's a fucking road warrior, though.
Dude,
I was fucking terrified.
And look
Look at his
and look
success.
what he's doing.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's why.
yeah.
That
On the
motherfucker
road all
is a
the
road
time.
warrior. He put his time in, was not afraid. There was a time we were driving to Kalamazoo to do a show, and we spun all the way around.
Probably
And
with
all the way
culture.
around
Been
on the
there.
other side, and there's a semi-truck coming. He goes, and I'm fucking freaking out. Get the fuck in the ditch. Get the fuck out of this wrong side of the road. Dude, freaking out. And he's just like, we're fine. Shut up.
He's fucking living his dream.
So let's do some plugs.
All right, I'm ready. I mean, with SCW, by the way, we set a record for our company in general last year. I think we did like, what the fuck was it? It was insane. It was like 98 shows in 1 year, which we've
shit.
never fucking done ever.
That's good.
Something like that. It was fucking insane. But anyways, we were fucking busy as shit during the summer. Like we were like those summer shows, outdoor shows. Like we were doing, it was like a Saturday and Sunday shows. Like at one point, SCW was running every fucking weekend in the summer, dude. Like it was wild.
Oh yeah.
So, anyways, my next show is January 21st at Wildwood in Iowa City. I am the newly crowned Iowa champion after my street fight, and I will be defending my Iowa championship in Wildwood. Don't know who against yet. Probably just going to get their head kicked in. You know how it goes. Anyways,
A real brother.
that's right. But yes, next show, January 21st, SCW Pro Wildwood, Iowa City.
Is that it?
What do you got, buddy?
Oh,
I'm only going to do one at a time, dog, because we're going to do this weekly. Like, I'm not going
Yeah.
to plug fucking
We're
shows.
excited to do this weekly.
Well,
We're all busy as fuck. Let's go ahead.
I only have really one. The first Obsidian Hammer show in the Quad Cities since like 6 years ago is happening at Raccoon Motel February 24th. It's a Friday. It's
Fuck
only
yeah.
$10.
Okay.
It's
February
Obsidian
24th.
Hammer. It's Frontal Assault. It's fucking the Rising
Frontal Assault,
Plague
yep.
from no, I think not Decorah, up there by Decorah, Iowa. And then this fucking disgusting ass nasty band from Chicago called Gaunt. They're super cool. It's mostly Iowa bands and then Gaunt from Chicago. And they're headlining. And this is like the first show that I booked on my own. Like I didn't have anybody. I just fucking took care of it myself and booked all these bands and stuff.
Taking charge.
I want to do that more, but it's it's just
That's a lot to take on.
Overall promoting,
yes,
booking shows, with that don't have your band on it. It's a little bit more work than I need to be putting on my plate, but it's gonna be really fucking cool. Obsidian Hammer is finally kind of back to playing shows. It's just I got sick of waiting for people to ask us and just booked it ourselves.
There you go.
That'll be really cool. Frontal assault always murders, and I was hoping they would pull some people in because a lot of people probably don't remember Obsidian Hammer. We didn't play a ton around here. We didn't play a ton to begin with when we were a band before. So,
but you're still a part of the band. So that you being a part of
the
it,
original. It's everybody that was in the band originally. So, and we're working on a full length album that's likely going to be released by Horror Pain Gore Death Records.
Sweet.
And then there's that, and then Pitlord has a local show booked here in town for March, but it hasn't been announced yet. But that'll be pretty cool. We're playing with a decently cool band from Madison, Wisconsin, which I also won't give away because it hasn't been announced yet. But that'll be cool, and that's really all that's happening. Just like go to our. We're soon to release new merch. There's a new Pitlord merch coming.
New merch. All right.
We're just waiting for them to get finished, and then we'll do all the goofy video announcement shit and all that. In the meantime, go to our Bandcamp and buy our shit, and follow us on everything so that you can see how stupid and annoying we are. Also, go find Forge Master and at least listen to our album. I don't care if you buy it because it's only digital for now. And that's it. I don't think there's nothing else. If you happen to be listening to this and you are in like a southern state, Pitlord will likely be coming down there in May.
Nice.
It's not exactly set where yet. So, and that's it.
All right, brothers and sisters, I'm going to let you know his Wisconsin show, he's being paid in cheese.
We're playing in Wisconsin.
No, the band's coming from Wisconsin.
This is a Wisconsin band.
God damn it.
You
the point is, I don't listen at all. And here is the last segment, which is that we have ourselves something that we want to funnel you guys to. Maybe start a little revolution. We got a website. It's called wrestlinwithmusicandlife.com. It's right here. And again, you can just come here for the newest episodes and also maybe buy some stuff. Are we right now revising that? Yes, but we also want to let you know that we are trying to, create a support system, and we're trying to make this something that we can actually continue to do. We're going to do it no matter what. $0 an hour, whatever. But we're also going to look at maybe having some support if you guys want to. Either way, as much as the listeners are continuing to watch, we have to make sure that we also maybe look at having an avenue for you to keep seeing this extra shit. Every freaking week, you guys don't get to see the hours afterwards. And now we have a website where you get to check out some crazy extras. And this extras right here will continue to grow. I obviously will put more up there, and I want to see the engagement. So, wrestlinwithmusicandlife.com. Check out it. And also, hey, man, you guys have been great either way. Comment, like, subscribe. We'll talk to you later, brothers and sisters.
Leave comments about what merch we should make. Because
yeah. Ideas.
If you want something stupid, let us know, and I will try to make it.
And then we'll just go.
All right, love you guys.